Welcome to Confession Soul, the place where people finally say the things they've been carrying around for too long. These are real stories, raw and unfiltered, told the way they happened. No judgment, just the truth. I've been quietly obsessed with my best friend's mom for the past 2 years. She's in her mid-40s, single, and has this calm confidence and sharp sense of humor that completely undoes me. Most people think she's distant, but once you get to know her, she's one of the warmest people I've ever met. I'm in my early 20s, so I already knew how this looked. A few weeks ago, I ran into her at the mall, and we ended up getting coffee and talking for almost an hour. After that, she started showing up in my dreams. Yesterday, I finally made a move. I slid into her Instagram DMs, told her how good her outfit looked, and asked her out to dinner. She said sure, then casually mentioned she'd bring her son along. I waited a few hours, drank some wine for courage, and texted her straight. I'd love to take you on a date, just the two of us. An hour later, she gently turned me down and called me a great kid, wishing me luck with girls my own age. I'm completely crushed. I don't know if she told my friend, and I have no idea how I'm supposed to face either of them now. I'm a 27-year-old woman who is extremely hairy. Laser doesn't last, waxing is too expensive, and I hate every bit of it. I had an event coming up where clothes might come off, so I decided to use bikini nair in a place no one should ever put it. I was bent over, carefully applying it, when the burning started. It felt like 1,000 suns and an open flame at the same time. I jumped in the shower and tried to wash it off as fast as I could. I've given birth, broken bones, survived cancer, and had emergency surgery, and nothing has ever hurt like that. I now have a chemical burn on my asshole. I just needed someone else to know so I could laugh about it instead of cry. My elderly neighbor lives alone, and he's a genuinely nice guy. Last week, I noticed his trash bins were still inside the gate on collection day, and the garbage truck was already coming down the street. I opened the gate, rolled the bins out to the curb, and went back inside without thinking twice. Turns out he was on a golf trip and unreachable. His daughter had a security camera pointed at the front of the house, and all she saw was some guy opening the gate and walking onto the property. She posted the clip in the neighborhood Facebook group, asking if anyone recognized me. The next morning, at 7 o'clock, 2 police officers were at my door after a neighbor identified my jacket. I stood there, half asleep, explaining that I was just taking the trash out for him. They eventually believed me and even laughed, but by then the whole street had seen the post. When my neighbor got home, he knocked on my door, completely mortified, and wouldn't stop apologizing. Somehow that made everything even more awkward. When I was 10 or 12, the skin between my toes started cracking in the shower. My skin has always been sensitive and dry, so I just put lotion on it and moved on. My mom never made a big deal about it, so neither did I. Year after year, I told myself this was just how my feet were. A couple of months ago, one of my toes got really itchy and turned a little purple. It swelled up. I figured it was chilblains from the cold house and wore socks for a month until it calmed down. Then the skin started peeling. While doom scrolling, I saw a Reddit post that looked exactly like my feet, and everyone in the comments said athlete's foot. I didn't believe them at first. I wash my feet. I don't walk barefoot outside. The pictures online looked way worse than what I had. Still, I bought a tube of Lamisil just in case. I dried between my toes after every shower and put the cream on religiously. The skin looked worse for a week while it peeled, but it stopped cracking completely. It's been months now, and it hasn't come back. Apparently, it's not normal for the skin between your toes to crack, and drying them after a shower actually matters. I play Far Cry 5, and when my 4-year-old is watching, I try not to fill the screen with people getting shot in the face. Instead, I run around with a melee weapon and smack predators on the rear end, then sprint away while they chase me. My daughter thinks it's the funniest thing she's ever seen. She named it the spanking game. Today, we were sitting in a restaurant. The waiter came over, introduced himself, and before I could say a word, my daughter looked him dead in the eyes and proudly said, "My dad plays the spanking game with me." The poor guy froze. I froze. Time froze. I scrambled to explain that I was playing a video game about fighting a cult, and instead of shooting people in front of my kid, I spent my time hitting black bears in the butt with a shovel because she finds it hilarious. I'm pretty sure he wrote down my license plate before we even got the check. Back in high school, I was in the Sea Cadets. One summer, we did a 2-week training in Norfolk, Virginia. We were housed on the top floor of a 3-story barracks. Actual Navy A school sailors were on the first floor, and the middle floor was kept empty as a buffer. At the end of the training, they gave us MREs for the last 2 days. Those things turned my digestive system into concrete. On the final morning, after we had already cleaned our bathrooms spotless for graduation, the situation became urgent. Our floor's bathroom was sealed. In a moment of teenage genius, I went down to the empty middle floor. What followed was biblical. When it was over, I realized there was no toilet paper. I used my undershirt. Then I made a catastrophic miscalculation about the flush capacity of military toilets. The first flush worked. The second did not. 16-year-old me decided getting caught was worse than death, so I said nothing, put on a clean undershirt, and walked out. After the ceremony, we went back for our bags and found the entire first-floor A-school class getting absolutely smoked on the front lawn. Someone had tried to flush an undershirt on the restricted middle floor and destroyed the plumbing. The instructors were tearing into them for being filthy and unsanitary. I watched in silence, grabbed my gear, and got on the bus. If you were stationed in Norfolk in the summer of 2005 and got smoked for something you didn't do, I'm sorry. You deserved better. This happened 3 days ago, and I want to move to another country. There's a guy in my friend group. We've been friends for about 1.5 years. Lately, it felt like something shifted. He was texting more, finding reasons to sit next to me, fixing my hood when it was stuck. Who does that platonically? Last Friday, we were at a pregame. People left until it was just the 2 of us on the couch. He got this soft, serious look, leaned in a little, and went quiet mid-sentence. I have never been more sure of anything in my life. I kissed him. He did not kiss me back. He just froze, pulled back slightly, and said, "Oh." 1 syllable. Turns out he was about to tell me he liked my other friend and wanted my advice. That was the look. That was the quiet. He was nervous about talking about her. I had to sit there for another 40 minutes because leaving would have made it worse. We both pretended to watch something on his phone. I have no idea what it was. The next day, he texted asking if I was okay. I said, "Yeah, lol," and haven't opened a message since. I have to see him Friday with the whole group. I am not okay. There's a guy at work, we'll call him K, who says, circling back, constantly, sometimes twice in the same sentence. Just circling back on that before we circle back to the main point. I started noticing it 4 months ago, and now I can't unhear it. Meetings are ruined. As a joke, purely for my own amusement, I built a tiny app in about 10 minutes. Every time Kay says the phrase, I tap the screen. It tracks daily counts, shows a weekly graph, and gives me a personal best notification. I showed 2 colleagues. That was the mistake. Within 2 days, 9 of us were silently tapping our phones every time he spoke. Someone made a weekly leaderboard. Someone else requested a feature for the phrase, to be honest, because Kate from finance says it 11 times a meeting. Last week, Kay said, circling back, 23 times in a 56-minute meeting. Someone had to fake a coughing fit to keep from laughing. The problem is, I now look forward to meetings. I check the group chat during calls. We celebrate new records. Kay will never know. I feel both terrible and completely at peace with this. That's all for today's confessions. If any of these stories hit a little too close to home, or if you've got one of your own sitting heavy on your chest, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next ones. Drop a like if you made it all the way through, and leave a comment telling me which story got you the hardest. New confessions drop every day here on Confession Soul. Take care of yourselves out there.